Did you know that millions of men over 50 are silently damaging their prostate every single time they urinate? What if I told you that one small habit you do daily could be causing permanent, irreversible damage, leading to chronic urinary problems, frequent infections, and even difficulty controlling your bladder? It's shocking, but the truth is this. Most men have no idea they are harming themselves. They think it's normal to rush, hold it in, or strain, but the reality is, these tiny mistakes add up silently, year after year, until one day, the damage becomes serious. Could you be unknowingly putting your prostate at risk? How many times have you ignored a small urge, pushed a little harder, or stopped and started your urine stream? Every time, your bladder and prostate experience stress that can last a lifetime. In this video, I'm going to reveal the top 5 most shocking mistakes men make while urinating. Mistakes so common, yet so dangerous, that they could destroy your prostate slowly over time. I'll explain how each mistake harms your prostate, why it matters, and exactly what you can do today to prevent permanent damage. By the end of this video, you'll know how to urinate safely, protect your prostate, and prevent lifelong complications. Even if you've been practicing these habits for decades, small changes right now can make a huge difference. So stay with me, because ignoring just one of these mistakes can silently ruin your prostate. And once you understand them, you'll never look at urination the same way again. Mistake number 1. One of the most common mistakes men make is forcing the urine stream, especially when it feels weak or slow. Many think, I'll just push harder and it will finish faster. But here's the truth. This small habit can silently damage your prostate over time. When you strain, you create excessive pressure inside your bladder and prostate. Over weeks, months, and years, this repeated stress can weaken bladder muscles, irritate the urethra, and inflame prostate tissue. The result? Slower urine flow, frequent dribbling, and long-term urinary problems. Studies show that men who regularly force urination are more likely to develop benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, which enlarges the prostate and blocks urine flow. Straining repeatedly stretches and damages bladder neck muscles, leading to chronic urinary retention. Here I want to share with you a real example. Mr. Johnson, age 62. He always pushed his urine stream because it felt slow. Within a few years, he developed nighttime urgency, weak flow, and dribbling. After learning to relax and allow the stream to flow naturally, his bladder function gradually improved. Now, here are some practical tips to protect your prostate. Never push or force the urine flow. Forcing can damage delicate prostate tissue over time. Let your bladder empty naturally. Sit or stand in a relaxed position. Tension in your body increases pressure on the prostate. So take a moment to get comfortable. Take a few extra seconds if needed. Rushing may seem convenient, but relaxing and letting the stream flow fully can prevent long-term bladder and prostate damage. Remember, every time you force your stream, your prostate pays the price silently. Small adjustments today can prevent permanent complications in the future. Mistake number 2. Many men make the mistake of holding urine for too long, thinking, I can wait, it's not urgent. But here's the shocking truth. This habit can silently damage your prostate and bladder over time. When you hold urine, your bladder stretches beyond its natural limit, increasing pressure on the prostate and urethra. Over months and years, this repeated stress can weaken bladder muscles, inflame the prostate, and increase the risk of urinary infections. Chronic retention also accelerates benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, making urination slower and sometimes painful. Studies show that long-term urine retention increases bladder wall stress, which can lead to urinary retention, incomplete emptying, and infections. The longer urine stays in the bladder, the higher the risk of bacterial growth, which can trigger prostatitis and frequent UTIs. Here is the real example of my patient, Mr. Harris, age 65. He often ignored his urges during long work hours. Over time, he developed difficulty starting urination, weak flow, and multiple nighttime trips. Once he learned to respond promptly to urges, his urinary symptoms improved, and his prostate stress decreased. Here are some practical tips to protect your prostate. Never ignore the urge to urinate for long periods. Your body is signaling you for a reason. Go when your body tells you, even if it's inconvenient. Responding promptly reduces pressure on your bladder and prostate. Plan short breaks during work or travel. This simple habit can prevent long-term bladder and prostate damage. Remember, holding urine repeatedly is one of the most silent but dangerous habits for your prostate. Making small changes today can protect your bladder and prostate for years to come. Mistake number 3. Another habit that silently harms the prostate is stopping and starting the urine stream. Some men do it out of habit, others to finish faster. But this small action can cause long-term bladder and prostate damage. Every interruption in flow creates sudden pressure changes inside the bladder and prostate. Over time, this can weaken the bladder neck, irritate the urethra, and inflame prostate tissue, leading to chronic urinary problems, slow flow, and discomfort. Studies indicate that repeated start and stop urination increases intravesical pressure, which strains the prostate and bladder muscles. This repeated stress contributes to benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, and can make urination more difficult over time. Here is the real example. Mr. Williams, age 68, he often stopped and started his urine stream. After several years, he developed dribbling, weak flow, and frequent nighttime trips. Once he allowed a steady, uninterrupted flow, his bladder function improved and he experienced less discomfort. Here are some practical tips to protect your prostate. Allow a steady, uninterrupted flow. Don't stop and start unnecessarily, as this increases bladder and prostate stress. Relax and take your time. Focus on letting the urine flow naturally and completely. Be patient. Even a few extra seconds of steady urination can prevent long-term bladder and prostate damage. Remember, each interruption creates invisible stress on your prostate. Changing this simple habit can make a dramatic difference in long-term urinary health. Mistake number 4. One of the most damaging habits men often overlook is not fully emptying the bladder. Even a small amount of leftover urine may seem harmless, but it can seriously harm your prostate and urinary system over time. When urine remains in the bladder, it creates constant pressure, irritates the urethra, and provides a breeding ground for bacteria, increasing the risk of urinary tract infections and prostatitis. Over time, this habit can worsen BPH, making it harder to fully empty the bladder and leading to chronic discomfort and urinary problems. Studies show that residual urine increases bladder wall stress, which contributes to urinary retention, infections, and inflammation of the prostate. Men who habitually leave urine behind are more likely to develop chronic urinary tract issues and bladder, muscle weakening. Now I want to share another patient example. Mr. Thompson, age 70, often left a small trickle of urine after urination. Over the years, he developed frequent UTIs, discomfort, and slower urine flow. After focusing on fully emptying his bladder, his urinary symptoms improved, and his overall prostate health stabilized. Here are some practical tips to protect your prostate. Take your time to fully empty your bladder. Don't rush, even if you feel in a hurry. Lean slightly forward while urinating. This position helps your bladder empty more completely and reduces leftover urine. Monitor for residual urine. If you notice persistent dribbling or incomplete emptying, consult your doctor promptly. Early attention can prevent permanent complications. Remember, leaving urine behind may seem small, but over years, it silently damages your bladder and prostate. Making small adjustments today can protect your urinary health for decades. Mistake number 5. Many men make the mistake of ignoring nighttime urges to urinate, thinking, "I'll just sleep through it." But here's the reality. This small habit can silently damage your prostate and bladder over time. When you ignore the urge, urine backs up in the bladder, increasing pressure on the prostate. Over time, this can weaken bladder muscles, inflame the prostate, and even affect kidney function. Chronic nighttime urination, known as nocturia, is not just inconvenient, it is a serious warning sign that your urinary system may be under stress. Studies show that ignoring nighttime urination increases bladder wall stress and prostate inflammation, which can accelerate BPH and urinary complications. Repeated nocturia can lead to weakened bladder muscles, incomplete emptying, and frequent infections. Here is another of my patient real example, Mr. Allen. His age is 66. He often ignored nighttime urges. Over several years, he developed difficulty fully emptying his bladder, frequent UTIs, and daytime urgency. Once he began responding promptly to nighttime urges, his sleep improved, urinary symptoms decreased, and prostate stress was reduced. Here are some practical tips to protect your prostate. Respond to nighttime urges promptly. Don't force yourself to sleep through them. Your bladder and prostate need relief. Limit fluids before bedtime, especially caffeine and alcohol, which irritate the bladder and increase nighttime trips. Consult your doctor if nocturia persists. It may indicate an underlying issue that requires attention. Remember, ignoring nighttime urination may seem minor, but over time it silently harms your prostate and bladder. Small adjustments tonight can protect your urinary health for years to come. Please listen this careful. Your prostate is one of the most important organs for your health. Yet most men ignore its signals until it's too late. The truth is, Small daily habits can either protect it or silently destroy it over time. Now, I want to share some practical advice and tips that you can start implementing today to protect your prostate, improve urinary health, and prevent long-term problems. These are simple, realistic steps that make a huge difference over time. 1. Stay hydrated but wisely. Drinking enough water keeps your bladder healthy. But be mindful to limit caffeine and alcohol before bedtime, as they irritate the bladder and increase nighttime trips. 2. Take your time. Rushing urination puts extra pressure on your prostate. Take a few moments to empty your bladder completely and naturally, without straining. 3. Move your body regularly. Light exercise, like walking, improves circulation to the bladder and prostate, reducing inflammation and pressure buildup. 4. Practice pelvic floor exercises. Simple Kegel exercises strengthen the muscles supporting your bladder and prostate. Even a few minutes a day can improve urine flow, control, and overall prostate health. 5. Monitor your diet. Include foods rich in zinc, lycopene, and healthy fats, which support prostate health. Avoid processed foods that increase inflammation and slow urinary flow. 6. Listen to your body. Pay attention to urges, discomfort, or changes in urine flow. Early action can prevent permanent problems, and consulting your doctor when something feels off is always better than ignoring it. Remember, protection is in your hands right now. Every small, mindful habit adds up over time, and your future self will thank you. Don't wait for discomfort or complications to force you into action. Start today, respect your body, and make these changes a routine. If you've experienced urinary changes or want to improve your prostate health, drop a comment below. Sharing your experience could help another man avoid serious, lifelong problems. Your prostate health is not something to gamble with. Make the change today, because the habits you build now determine your comfort, strength, and health for decades to come.